As Holocaust Remembrance Day comes to a close, family, friends, and survivors gathered at Fairmount Temple in Beechwood last night for a special remembrance honoring victims of the Holocaust and their families, as well as liberators and rescuers.
Now, one way to fight back against all forms of hate is by working to build bridges between different communities.
And our 3 News contributor Chris Webb introduces us to a special connection shared by 2 historic congregations and how their partnership is already leading to real change in our community.
The primary aim of the Park-Cory Connection is about how do we link these 2 historic congregations that have a physical space in its kind of history, but there also is a shared foe that we have, which is injustice and hate that both Black folk and our Jewish siblings have also had to deal with.
Between the congregations at Park Synagogue in Pepper Pike and Cory United Methodist Church in Glenville, there is a shared history. The Park-Cory Connection was formed not only to honor this history, but also to join arms for the future.
Park Synagogue's congregation is over 150 years old, and in the 1920s, the congregation built this building on 105th Street in the Glenville neighborhood.
My parents belonged to the predecessor of Park, known as the Jewish Community Center, housed in this building. The connection has been more than just the physical structure of the building.
As neighborhoods changed, Cory purchased the building and has been operating there ever since, and the church became central in the civil rights movement. Decades later, these congregations reconnected and discovered that they share so much more than the history of a building, and what started as social events quickly turned into action.
We had an event that we called Real Talk Racism and Anti-Semitism.
Myself and Rabbi Joshua Scoff, we did a dialogue together, and that was a seminal moment because we were able to have these 2 religious leaders kind of have this conversation about what it looks like to kind of deal with issues of racism and anti-Semitism.
And from that program, we created an offshoot called the Affordable Housing Task Force. This task force was a wonderful way that programming went beyond just being a program to action.
The work of hate is always to separate, which is why the work of love is always the sense of unity.